What's up, everybody? Well, I got another Asus G15 Advantage gameplay video for you guys today, and today we had a request to check out Metro Exodus and get some playable settings. But I also realized I haven't done this game yet. Well, besides doing it real quick, like in the beginning of my YouTube channel, I used to make like gameplay 1, gameplay 2, and I'd just pick like 2, 3, 4 games and max them out and see how they all ran for you guys. But now that I do, all the settings in games, I figured, why don't we go through Metro Exodus PC Enhanced Edition, go through all the settings from low up to ultra. I mean, we'll try ray tracing too, although it's gonna be horrible. And then I'll sit there for a little while, fiddle with the settings, and we'll get some good settings, hopefully. Then I'll do some screen recorded version of those and some camera recorded, and then we'll call it quits. Then I'll do the same thing at 1440, because I don't actually know what resolution the guy laptop has. I don't know if he was on 1440 or 1080p, so I figured might as well do both. Then we'll do the secondary and primary computer just to compare it to. I'm very curious to see if either of them can tame this beast of a game. This game required a very powerful computer. But anyway though, why don't we go get this guy hooked up to the capture computer and we can get started. So let's go hop in and look at some settings.
Well, all right, getting started here. Let's go ahead and look at the settings. We're at 1080p. We're gonna start off on low. I kind of have to work the graphics myself, so that's what we're going with for low. I just basically turned everything off, but we're still maxing the field of view and everything. I probably won't mess with the shading rate. Not 100% sure what that does. But anyway, let's jump into the game now, shall we? Well, all right, here we are, jumping into the game here. 1080p low. So let's go ahead and just run up to those box cars up ahead there. Then I'm curious if this thing does something that I found out on my main computer. It seemed like on my main computer and my secondary computer, if you turned on advanced physics, you would see this weird black, like, you're not even black, but just this weird line going through the water if you looked up and down and looked at it funny. So I'm very curious to see if this does it too. I wasn't paying attention before, I don't believe. Uh-oh. We got the rads. So much rads. All right, now let's go ahead and move on. Let's crank it up to medium quality now. So I did the quality medium, and then I think I turned one other thing on. What was it? Ah, tessellation. We turned tessellation on. And beyond that, I think it's time for us to get into the game. So let's do just that. Now we'll get a little medium gameplay in. And over here, we definitely got a lot lower FPS. And I also noticed something. I don't know if it happened on this computer too, and I just didn't notice it, but I started having to run back from around this area-ish back there, and when I turned around, it would drop down under 60 FPS. And even on my main computer, it dropped down to like 61, 62 and got close. So just keep in mind, there might be parts of the game that do that too, so even now that we're getting 100 and something, there are some spots where it might drop under 60. Just keep that in mind. I haven't played through the entire game on this thing after all. Just like on the Steam Deck videos, I don't play through the entirety of the game. Plus, I like doing the beginning of the game just so I don't ruin anything for anybody. If I start like where I am in some of those games, it's like, all right, where I'm either halfway in or right at the boss, and it's like, I don't want to ruin shit for people. So half the time I just start at the beginning. That way it's like, all right, almost all the other YouTubers have already done the beginning of every game, so that won't ruin nothing for nobody. That Geiger counter is going off like a motherfucker. Though we are in nuclear land, so. Anyway, we've reached our little stopping point, so let's move on. Now we shall move on to high. So let's go check out all the settings I changed. I put ray tracing up to high, I put advanced physics on, and tessellation still on, and beyond that, everything else is the same for now. So, why don't we now go ahead and hop into the game? Well, now, let's check out some of this high graphics quality gameplay now. And I'm glad I redid this. Because at first I was like trapped in a building somewhere over there. And it was basically really dark, hard to see. Kept getting owned by monsters left and right because I couldn't see what the hell I was doing and couldn't hear. So I couldn't even hear them sneaking up on me and whatnot. So I was like, all right, this is dumb. And I definitely knew it was dumb when I got to the camera recorded portion. And even with all the lights off in the room, I could not really see what was going on my camera. And this camera's pretty damn good at picking up low light shit. So, especially the screen of the computers and whatnot. Besides YouTube making weird multicolored bands when I upload them sometimes, I still have no idea why it does that. It seems to be pretty much awesome. Definitely didn't do that with my old camera, but I'm okay with that. It's not doing it constantly, so. And who knows, there might be some setting I can turn off during either my encoding or my recording. And maybe it'll stop doing that. I'll have to do a little research, but I tried doing a teensy bit and couldn't really find anybody else having that problem, so I don't know what's up with that. Gargoyle thing. Anyway, why don't we now move on? Now we're going to move on to Ultra at 1080p here. So there we go. We got quality on Ultra. I put ray tracing also on Ultra. Tessellation on, physics on, and all that stuff still on too. So now that we're at the bottom, we've looked at all that, we can go ahead and jump back into the game. Well, now let's get ourselves in a little Ultra gameplay in. We'll just go ahead and run on over to the other end here and go to our little boxcar stopping point, and then we can move on to the next graphics setting. Now, unfortunately, this game doesn't have anything for AMD, like FSR-wise. I know on the main computers now that it's got DLSS, though. Truth be told, it doesn't really need it and help much because it's already hard to fully saturate even a 3090 in this game. And my 4090 is definitely super bottlenecked, even with the 13900 KF in this particular game. I don't know if it's the game engine's fault or if it's my CPU just not being strong enough. Who knows? All I know is I'm not getting 99% usage like I am right now. 98 to 99. And even this still, there's parts where it goes down to 96 and 92, see? So there's still slight bottlenecks here and there. Even on 1080p. But 1080p CPU does end up being a bottleneck in a lot of situations, more so than your GPU. So I'm not too surprised by that. But anyway, now we've reached our boxcar. So now let's move on to the next graphics setting. Well, now let's do some extreme quality, which is pretty much the game maxed out as well. There we go. Turn VARS on and Hairworks on as well. So let's go hop in the game and see how it does. Well, now here we go with some extreme gameplay. And as you can see, we go a teensy bit under 60, but not by much. Still more so in the realm of playable. I don't think I would honestly even notice that if I didn't have a frame rate counter telling me as such, you know? Oh yeah, I gotta try to pay attention to the water and see if it does that weird shit I was talking about. Oh, I think I saw it for a second, but I didn't move up and down, so might not be able to tell. Oh. We got ourselves a little stutter. Yeah, but for the most part, even extreme is pretty playable. Though, I would probably like a little more FPS since this is an FPS game, but still. let us now move on. Now let's have a quick look at my settings that I would run if I was going to play this game right now. I'd say they're probably a good mixture between FPS and, frame rate, or just good looks. And there we are. Let's go ahead and hop in the game now. Well, alright. Here we go with my settings now. So let's go get ourselves a little gameplay up to our little train car up ahead here. I'd say my settings look pretty damn good. We're getting a little teensy bit more FPS than we were getting before. Not by much, but still a little bit. And yet, it doesn't really look that much worse. Yeah, sometimes in games, variable rate shading can make things look terrible. So I really only try to use it when I absolutely have to. And since I don't have any FSR or anything in this game, I figured, well, we might as well turn it on. It's supposed to help you get a few more FPS while not making it look too much worse. But it's not an upscaling technique or anything like that. It's got something to do with optimizing the shaders. I don't know exactly how it does it. But in a lot of games, it fucks up and doesn't work properly. So I feel like this might be a game it helps. I don't know for sure. But in any case, why don't we now go ahead and move on? Alright guys, let's get a little camera gameplay on now. We'll just do what we did at 1440p because I had to go backwards this time. But we're at the same settings we were at in the screen recorded portion, so I didn't bother showing them again. But this is more than playable FPS. And looks pretty damn good too. Pretty smooth, random stutter every now and again, but for the most part, very smooth. Oh, sounds like some radiation. We'll do what we did last time and go up to this weird little car place thing that somebody's using as a home. Or someone was. They're not there now. And then we'll turn around and head back for the train. And then wrap the video on up after that. That's kind of cool. I can rest here too. Which is pretty cool. You're getting chased by stuff. You can just come in here and be safe. Stay all warm by the little fire. Yeah, whoever set this up was pretty smart. It would have been cooler if this was all like enclosed still to be a little warmer, but as long as you got this thing, and get some blankets, you could be warm enough. Anyway though, let's start heading back towards the train now. Nothing around to jump me, okay. Just making sure. Now, of course, my settings here might drop under 60 or whatever in certain spots of the game. It's not like I've gone through the entirety of the game with these settings, but at least being outside here in the open, we seem to be doing pretty damn good.
I don't really think there's too many places that are going to be harder to run than this. Could be wrong though, of course. That's why I always just put that little PSA out there. Or at least ever since somebody sat there and tried to tell me, if you don't play through the whole game, you shouldn't even be doing this. And it's okay, so you want me to have, what, 5 videos on my channel by now? Well, I'd have a little more than that. I beat games pretty quick, but it would take a lot longer to go through the whole game. And then I guess that guy probably wants me to say, oh, well, F everybody else's requests. Just do mine. You know, it's like, no, that's not how this works. Nope, I guess Misty's on the move. You want some treats? Well, alright, I'll get you some treats as soon as we're done with this, which we should be now. See, I just said, you turn around and for whatever reason it dropped for a second, and then we were good, see? That's why I said sometimes it may drop under 60 here and there. Let's see, now we do it again. Come over here. And it's not doing it, so I wonder what's up with that. That's weird. Anyway, though, why don't we go wrap this video on up now? Well, alright guys, that is a wrap from Metro Exodus Enhanced PC Edition, and it actually did pretty good. I was kind of surprised up until we got to the high part where we turned ray tracing to high. It was still barely stayed 60 most of the time, but we still dropped a little under 60, but I was surprised. Wasn't until we started getting to the extreme settings and upping the shaders and all that shit that we started getting like 40 to 30 FPS. So, not bad. I'd say that's totally playable with my settings anyway, and it still looked pretty good. Kind of hard to see in that stupid area I was stuck in though, but I think for the next video, I'm just gonna go back to a checkpoint or something that was like outside for 1440p, and I might even redo 1080p. We'll see if the FPS changes much. Before I start the video for 1440p, I'll probably go and just leave it alone and check and see what kind of FPS it gets and see if it was getting similar to what it was getting there, and then we'll know. At least the FPS is similar whether you're in a building or not in this game, but usually if you're in a building like that, you get more FPS than you would if you were just out in the open world, so we'll see. Anyway though, that's all we got for this particular video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and until the next one, peace out, guys.